Pride Daily.
Hi there, I'm Kev McGrath. Coming up, it's game on for a medieval lesbian. First though, a gay Muslim influencer in Berlin and his inclusive Ramadan meal. Ali Darwish is known for his videos highlighting the struggles of being queer and following Islam, such as having no one to break your fast with because family has disowned you. What saves the 33-year-old from eating alone is when friends step up. He explains to 15 pals sharing a meal with him, who are a mix of Muslim, Christian, queer and straight, the importance of acceptance.
No matter where a person comes from, no matter who that person loves, no matter how queer that person is, they cannot be too queer, and they cannot be right or wrong, because they are exactly as they should be. And that is why I am delighted that we are able to be here today, and we say Bismillah and Bon Appetit.
Thanks to AP. Ali's German with Palestinian and Lebanese heritage. He's got nearly 140,000 followers on TikTok and Instagram.
Pride Daily.
Next, two male right-wing mayors in Italy are getting married. Alessandro Basso and Laurice Bazzo belong to the anti-LGBTQ+ governing parties that have restricted queer rights in the country on numerous occasions. The pair have been together 5 years and plan to have a civil union on June 27th.
Pride Daily.
And it's getting easier for trans children in Ecuador to change their gender details on official ID documents. The Constitutional Court's ruled in the case of a 15-year-old who'd been refused because they're not an adult. Moving forward, the lived realities of kids will have to be taken on board, plus their evolving maturity and the right to be heard. No time to tell you that Kazakhstan's vote for a new constitution means marriage is now the union of a man and a woman rather than just between two people. Comes off the back of a recent ban on LGBTQ+ propaganda. And in Medieval Lesbians, the hero of a new video game that's just come out. 1348 ex voto set in 14th century Italy and sees young knight Aita searching for the kidnapped Bianca.
Pride Daily.
Hi there, I'm Kev McGrath. Coming up, queer pigeons in a throuple. First though, tougher laws against LGBTQ+ hate crimes in Australia's New South Wales. Plans have been introduced to Parliament off the back of a rise in attacks there. Going to see a new offence aimed at bedwetters using queer dating apps to lure victims, plus an increased 5-year jail term, up from 3, for publicly threatening or inciting violence against queer people.
Pride Daily.
Next, Nepal's got its first transgender lawmaker. Bhumika Shrestha's from the centrist Rastriya Swatantra Party, which won a majority in Parliament last week. The 37-year-old says she's excited, but knows it's a big responsibility. Nepal has some of South Asia's most progressive laws on LGBTQ+ rights.
Pride Daily.
And as our never-ending quest to bring you only the best in LGBTQ+ news continues, may we present queer pigeons in a throuple. A gay farmer in Kansas says this has been quite the soap opera. It starts with a male almond Italian owl pigeon sent to Cottonwood Farm's Chase Barnes for breeding.
This bird previously, over the summer, was paired with a red bird that we thought was a girl. The two bonded, paired, and just never laid eggs. But when you gave them babies, they would raise them. Turns out the red is a male.
So, the male almond-coloured bird's paired with a female, and they do have a couple of babies. But then, plot twist, Mr. Almond, Mrs. Lady Pigeon, and the red male
are all raising the two babies together. They're in a little pigeon throuple, a little bisexual pigeon throuple. I've never seen it before. It's the craziest thing.
Chase and his partner Zach have a number of animals on their farm, including Princess Fiona, the Highland cow, and a chicken called Anderson Cooper.
Queer Family Podcast.
If you've ever felt like your family didn't fit the traditional mold, this show is for you. I'm Jamie, host of the Queer Family Podcast. And every week we highlight LGBTQIA+ families and the beautiful, unique ways we build and show up for our families in a world that wasn't designed for us. We celebrate, highlight, uplift, and normalize queer families because our stories deserve center stage. New episodes every Monday. Listen wherever you get your pods.
Love is love on the Queer Family Podcast. Love is love.
Pride Daily. Hi there, I'm Kev McGrath. Coming up, Noah Lynn isn't taking flight. First though, 49 people were murdered at Florida's Pulse LGBTQ+ nightclub back in June 2016, and nearly 10 years on, work to demolish the building is due to begin later. The mass shooting also left 53 others injured. It remains the worst attack on LGBTQ+ people in American history. Survivor Cesar Rodriguez tells WESH 2 News he'll be there as the site comes down.
It's something I've been wishing a lot to that building to disappear because for us, the people that were trapped in there, is something we want to erase. We don't want to remember. We don't want to see anymore. We need to see something better.
The venue's iconic signage has been removed and securely stored. It'll feature in a permanent memorial at the site, due to be completed in autumn next year.
Pride Daily.
Next, transgender rights are under attack in India. Planned legislation submitted to Parliament would remove self-identification and redefine who's legally recognised as trans. Activists say it's a travesty, a major step backwards, and nothing but erasure. India's Supreme Court endorsed self-determination back in 2014.
Pride Daily.
And transgender pro darts player Noah Lynn van Waveren says she considered quitting the sport after a ban on trans competitors in the women's category. When the World Darts Federation said last summer she'd have to shift to a new open category, the 29-year-old thought it might be time to move on. Now though, she says while it's weird not to play against women in WDF competitions, it's actually given her more motivation to up her game.
Pride Daily.
Hi there, I'm Kev McGrath. Coming up, a homophobic NASCAR nincompoop. First though, here's one way to go about getting pregnant in a same-sex relationship. Australian TV presenter Narelda Jacobs has been married to wife Karina Nat since August 2024, and they had daughter Sana a year ago. The baby was conceived using the turkey baster method, which doesn't actually involve said kitchen utensil. It's a plastic syringe, but anyway, you need someone to fill it, and that's where their friend Mitch came in, so to speak.
It was Mardi Gras 2024. We were on the dance floor at 3 a.m. and I said to Karina, go and ask him.
It was just like, oh, there's Mitch, and like the spotlight is on him.
So, how to ask such an important, life-changing question?
I was like, can we have your sperm?
You want a perm?
Yeah. Can we make a baby? And he just said yes. And then I was like, come over. And then we all hugged and cried. And I think we got kicked out of Loose Ends at about 4 a.m.
Thanks to ABC's Ladies We Need to Talk podcast. Narelda and Karina are Sana's main parents, with Mitch a regular presence in the baby's life.
Pride Daily.
Next, a NASCAR driver's been suspended indefinitely after using a homophobic voice to mock a rival. Daniel Dye made inferences about the sexuality of David Malukas and basically just trotted out some stereotypes about what gay men sound like. The word yas was used, standard. The 22-year-old from Florida has apologised. He's been ordered to do sensitivity training before NASCAR will think about reinstating him.
Pride Daily.
And $90,000 has been raised for a transgender student who it's claimed has been cut off by his parents after coming out. Matthew Enns had to leave his campus housing at Massachusetts Institute of Technology in the US just weeks before graduation due to being the offspring of bigots who've withdrawn their financial support. They sound nice. He's found somewhere to crash for now, while thanks to a GoFundMe, his housing and tuition debts are covered, and he's back on track to graduate in May.
Pride Daily.
Hi there, I'm Kev McGrath. Coming up, Budapest Police. Budapest Police. First though, We hear from a transgender man in Idaho in America on his state's attempts to criminalise trans people over the use of public bathrooms. Nixon Matthews has been speaking at a House of Representatives hearing ahead of a vote on a ban on using the likes of restrooms and changing rooms not aligned with your biological sex. He explained what this would actually mean in reality.
Say one of the men here walks into the men's bathroom and you see me walk into a stall and you know I'm trans. And since you're all law-abiding citizens, you're going to call 911. And I could go to jail for up to a year.
But what if Nixon uses the women's bathroom?
Say I happen to walk behind a woman and her husband sees someone who looks like me following his wife into the bathroom. What do you think happens next? Maybe the cops get called, but more likely that man is going to follow me into the bathroom, confront me, and even assault me.
So there's his options: go to jail or get beaten up. Kel Surprise, this nonsense was voted through and now heads to Idaho's Senate for consideration. Multiple violations of the bathroom ban could result in up to 5 years in prison.
Pride Daily.
Next, comments about conversion therapy made by a Catholic priest in Iceland are being investigated by police. Father Jakob Roland outlined during an interview how the church helps people struggling with being queer. Pray the gay away, anyone? And said conversion, or turning from evil towards good, is central to the faith. Iceland's laws against conversion therapy ban attempts to suppress sexuality or gender identity, hence the police looking into it. He says if God's law clashes with the country's laws, God prevails.
Pride Daily.
And a planned protest in Budapest to mark International Transgender Day of Visibility has been banned by police. The demo would have seen allies stand in silence in front of the Ministry of Justice on March 29th, that's shortly before the Day of Visibility. But police say this would violate the child protection laws of anti-LGBTQ+ Hungary. Amnesty International's helping with a legal challenge. No time to tell you that. The strengthening of LGBTQ+ rights in Asturias in Spain is a step closer. The regional government there has approved a draft equality law. Italy's gay helpline has turned 20 years old. And Bear Fela weekends kicked off in Dublin, celebrating Ireland's big, hairy gay men. Help shape the future of Pride Daily by filling in our survey. A link's in the show notes. That's your lot. I'll see you next week.